the Chinese did well to vary the attacking shots. Here, a couple of drop shots to the right-hand side of Takahashi. And the Japanese too quick on the counter-attack. We've had an extremely long game yesterday between the Japanese and the Indonesians, Takahashi and Matsutomo. That match lasting a few minutes shy of the 90-minute mark, 1.5 hours played.
9-16.
This women's doubles match has relatively flowed past a very short amount of time. We've only had 15 minutes of play thus far. No way that was coming back. Not when Takahashi got involved.
17-9.
Oh, that shot from the Chinese deflected off the tape.
10-17.
Yeah, nothing much Matsutomo could do.
Service over. 80-10.
It's not come over from Du Yue. Once again, fast flat exchanges favoring the Japanese pairing. Now lead 19-10, 2 points away from this first game. Bad idea.
Service over. 11-19.
You could see Du Yue gratefully accepting the sitter in front. I don't know what was going through Matsutomo's head at that point. She knew she had made a bad mistake. But the error on serve quickly
Service over.
sets things back
20.
to motion again for the Japanese plan to close out the first game. They do have game point.
Service ball too high.
The fault called on the serve.
Service
Takahashi. Racket not pointed.
20.
Shuttle struck above the waist is what Ali Abdul Karim from Maldives, the service judge, indicated.
Oh! 13-20.
Great recovery. Matsutomo still in it. And Matsutomo finishes it off.
Game.
Japan will take the first game.
First game won by Japan. 21-13.
Was in a lot of trouble at one point in that rally. Matsutomo did well to recover. Only needed one opportunity to put that shuttle to rest. From here, it was all over. duration of that first game, relatively short, 19 minutes, 21-13 victory for Matsutomo and Takahashi. As we look at the match highlights, you'll see that Japanese was superior right from the get-go, controlling the rallies. And one of the problems I suspect that the Chinese were facing was from the smashes of the Japanese coming straight down the middle, right between the two Chinese players. In a square formation. What I think the Chinese coaches will be hoping to do will be to instruct one of them to take the center instead, where the Japanese players have been targeting them. And a problem for the Chinese pairing, of course, is neither Yinhui or Du Yue have been able to take control in front where Matsutomo was stationed.
20 seconds. 20 seconds.
Well, if this next game goes in favor of the Japanese, it will be deja vu situation from 2 years ago in Hyderabad, where Japan went up 2-0 against China in the final of the Women's Asian Team Championships. And they will be banking, of course, on the world champion Nozomi Okuhara, who is up next, who delivered the first point for Japan 2 years ago against Wang Shixian to close the deal for them this time. The Japanese pairing much more vulnerable with Takahashi in front. Ripping through the defense of Matsutomo. It's a weak backhand clear, cross court from Takahashi. Always a bad idea to go weak cross court. Both Chinese players committed to the front. Well, there's no doubt in my mind that both the Chinese players are committed to the front, both trying to go forward. Yinhui taking it too low.
4, 2.
Oh, just a good camera angle for you to show you how things look like from the camera itself. Another deflection of the tape. again, trying to go in front, Lee Yinhui. And overcooks the defensive cross-court shot.
5-2.
Oh, it's been quite a few times now, Lee Yinhui trying to move forward, getting caught with the shot at the back. That's a great vision from the Japanese to spot that and to exploit it, of course.
Service over. 3-5.
Pull one back. Yue on serve. An error on the return of serve.
5. Yinhui.
Well, Yinhui is being cautioned by the umpire, Jauhari, but not celebrating. I presume that was. Yeah, missing that.
Service over. 6-4.
It's much harder to smash from the middle of the court than it is from the sides. You have a much more clearer angle to choose from, either straight or cross court. Well, this time you can see the sides well attacked by Du Yue
6.
and finished up by Lee Yinhui in front. That's it.
Service over. 7-5.
Anticipated that well.
8-5.
MATSUTOMO plays the shuttle really low in front and was aware that a cross-court net was coming. Placing a lot of power on his smashes, Takahashi, but more than that, playing it to the body of Du Yue. That's the one that opened up their defense. It's always that tactical option you have. If you attack the body, you push your opponent backwards. And potentially, they may give you a weaker shot with not much distance. Or if you go down sharper, they give you a much higher shot, one that could go all the way back. This one again to the body, almost to the neck of Du Yue.
10-6.
She offers an apology. Takahashi. A weak serve. Even Matsutomo couldn't believe herself.
7-10.
Judging by her reaction after the serve, immediately looks to her coaches. It must be their fault for not teaching her. That would look as if it was going wide. Rally is still on. What a defensive shot from Lee Yinhui.
8-10.
And most of us here in the Sultan Abdul Halim Indoor Stadium felt that that shuttle was going to ground. This one, and Lee Yinhui not only got it back with interest. Narrowing down the gap. Just touched 30 minutes of play. We're already halfway through the second game. In fact, we're into the second game interval. It's pretty much the same story as the first. Japanese pairing of Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi very much in the driving seat. One of the instructions by the coaches of the Chinese team is to not rush the shot. Indeed, I think it would be wise for the Chinese players to slow down the rallies. As we have seen in the earlier points, both in the first and in the second game, the fast flat exchanges seems to be almost exclusively favoring the Japanese pairing. You can see what the slower rally does. Managed to convert defense into attack. Chinese. Still 3 points behind. Fortunate to get away from that. Certainly was the Japanese point to lose. And the fast flat rally is almost trapping the Yinhui. Both players going for the same shot. Well, that was a poor shot selection from Matsutomo.
11-12.
All the things she could have done. Just played straight into the hands of the Chinese. This one right here. Anticipating what was coming. That rally lasting 35 shots. They've narrowed the gap to just 1.3 consecutive points for the Chinese. It was 12-8 at one point. Back level on a fiery run.
12-0.
Just felt that the Japanese has taken their foot off the gas pedal. They'll be glad to still keep their noses in front, the Japanese.
12.
MATSUTOMO has to control the front. She has been laxed in that department the last 5 or 6 rallies. Still it. Well, that rally really should have been demolished. Still in play. Not a weak shot. Has to be put away. And MATSUTOMO gets that job done.
14. 12.
Oh, but the Chinese pairing do have a knack for surviving. What should be certain dead shots.
Service 4.
Fault called
Too high.
by Ali Abdul Karim. Was not struck beneath the waist.
Service over. 13. 14.
Well, I'm looking back at that service. Not quite sure I see what the line judge saw. But it is 13-14. Oh, they've restored that 2-point lead.
15. 15. Play.
Almost missed that again. Yinhui visibly frustrated with herself. Just when it looked as if the Chinese found a way to perhaps come back and force a rubber. The Japanese have slipped away again. Well, that's just another wild attempt from Du Yue.
17. 13.
(17-13). It's Takahashi on serve.
4.
Well, a fault is called.
13.
Well, it's called on the receiver. Well, a receiver fault call, indicating perhaps that she moved before the serve. Was it? Did it touch the net? That's what he's saying. Well, here's another look at it. Oh, well, great call by the umpire Abdul Latif Johari from Indonesia. Indeed, Du Yue did touch the net. Oh, my apologies. Yinhui. I'll even love to looking at that previous shot in the replay and quite see what was wrong with it. Let's come off the tape. MATSUTOMO has gone behind. Oh, she's missed it.
14. 18.
The Japanese went into an awkward formation. This is the longest rally of the match so far with 56 shots. It's 14-18. Well, it's much better defense from the Chinese. And I'll tell you why. The replay will indicate that Du Yue was taking the center. Look at how she controls the center. So there was no opportunity for Takahashi to hit it down the center. Look at Du Yue moving in, taking charge of that center. And this has been the big difference for the Chinese, defensively at least. Well, we do have match point opportunities now for Japan. Confusion in the Chinese camp. 6 opportunities for Japan to go 2-0 up in the overall tie, as they did 2 years ago in Hyderabad. One saved.
Service over. 50-20.
Worked out rally by the Chinese.
16-20.
2 match points saved. Remember, both Matsutomo and Takahashi were in the lead 2016 yesterday. The first game against Rahayu and Grisha Poli, and they failed to convert. Ended up losing that match, that game, 22-20. Don't want history to repeat itself. Indeed it won't. The Japanese this time, they learned from their lesson yesterday, closed this one out to give Japan a 2-0 lead in the overall tie. Well, they seem to have gone in defense, having come to match points opportunity. Matsutomo and Takahashi. Fortunately for them, Yinhui committing the error in the front. Confirmation of the score, 42 minutes of play. Not quite as long as yesterday. In fact, half the time that was required yesterday. It is Matsutomo and Takahashi that win at 21-13.